The narcissist hates you, but still loves you. Why? I'm breaking it all down in this video, so stay tuned. Hey, I'm Rebecca Zung. I'm a lawyer. I'm a narcissist negotiator. And during the negotiations, it's so crazy because they're coming back, they're hating you, they're loving you, they're using all this craziness during the negotiations. And what in the heck is going on? It's actually such a mind game. And you're just trying to figure out what is happening. So I'm going to just try to explain it all to you as I understand it. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, feel free to do so now. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you can get more information on how to negotiate with narcissists if you'd like. Okay, so here's what's going on as I understand it. The narcissist has no sense of self. In a way, they're almost like hiding this little tiny, like scared self inside. They're almost like two people. There's like this inner person that is scared that they're hiding. And then there's this outer self that is like the one that they show the world. And in some ways, it's almost like this huge dichotomy, and it's very confusing. It's very torturous. It's torturous to the people around them. It's actually very torturous for themselves as well. And the narcissists that I've been close to, sometimes in moments of where they're kind of being honest, they'll even say that, like, there's this inner person, there's this outer person. It's kind of confusing for themselves as well. Like, especially the covert narcissists, the coverts will actually even be honest about their own depression. They'll tell you that they're depressed. Sometimes they'll even tell you that they feel terrible about themselves. But it's kind of crazy because they treat you horribly, like the whole time you're in this relationship. I mean, I was in a business sort of relationship with one, not even a romantic relationship, but I mean, the whole time, I mean, they're terrible to you. I mean, it's awful. And you think to yourself, why would anybody want to continue to be in a relationship with this person who's treating you terrible the whole time, calling you names sometimes? I mean, I didn't have that, but sometimes these relationships, they're really, really horrible to you. And sometimes I think like there's this disconnect where they don't even like remember how they've treated you sometimes. And then you leave. And I was actually just talking to one of my former clients to interview her for a podcast. And, she finally left her husband. And he's like calling her up saying things like, no one will ever love you like I do. Your family doesn't love you like I do. And they're like so desperate to get you back, so desperate to have that. I mean, they're desperate for your supply. They're desperate for that attention from you. They're desperate for whatever adulation they got from you. They're desperate for whatever it is that you were doing for them. They're desperate for how good you made them look. They're desperate for you to be around them. They hate being alone a lot of the time, but in a lot of ways, they also hate your vulnerability. They like, if you are vulnerable around them, like the fact that you love them, you also become the perfect person to blame when things go wrong for them. You've allowed certain behaviors a lot of times. You've like been imprinted to kind of, you've gone along to get along. So you've kind of allowed a lot probably to go by because you just didn't want to rock the boat, probably a lot of times. You feel like, sometimes it's never going to end. If you want to know more about when does the narcissist game finally end, you can definitely check out my video called When Does the Narcissist Game Finally End? You thought you could love them enough. You thought you could give them enough. You thought that, they'd see your worth if you gave them enough. You thought that, you would pour yourself into them. You thought that, eventually they'd acknowledge you. Eventually they would appreciate all that you did for them, right? this is sounding all too familiar, give me a yes in the comments right now. I've been there, not in a romantic sense, but I've been there in a business sense. You know, they love that you were there as their punching bag. They really thought that you would never leave. They really thought that you would always stay. And so when you actually do leave, or when you actually do fight back, or when you actually do stand up to them, sometimes it's really shocking for them. So when you do start to slay, by the way, you know, my slay program, strategy, leverage, anticipating, and focusing on you. For those of you who haven't checked out my slay program, then you'll know like that's when they'll start to be like, whoa, and they'll start to like love bomb, or they'll start to fight back, or they'll start to, you know, because it's really gonna like, you know, bring them off kilter, at least at first, because they'll be like, whoa, what's going on here? You know, because they won't believe it. They may say they've changed it, you know, all of these things. Don't believe any of that. Don't believe the future faking, please. They haven't changed. I mean, I had a client recently who was like, "Oh, maybe I could just still date him. Maybe I could keep him in the love bomb phase." No, you can't. Don't do that. You can't do that. They kind of hate you because they hate themselves, and they hate you for loving them. They like, how could you love someone who is so horrible? Like they hate themselves. There's a part of themselves that really has like this self-hatred, you know, because they have no sense of self. So that's what's really going on as far as I know. And that's why it's almost impossible to negotiate with them unless you know, employ the strategies that I teach. And if you want to know more about those strategies, definitely grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet at winmynegotiation.com. Get the support you need in my free Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. And if you like this video, give it a like, make sure you share it so that other people can understand why they hate you and also love you at the same time. It's all so confusing and it's really crazy. And they constantly move goalposts during the negotiation. It's really super sick unless you develop that super strong strategy. Okay. And that's why I teach you what I teach you. And make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you can get more tips and tricks. I'm Rebecca Zung. Thanks so much for stopping by. In this video, remember, today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. And I will definitely see you in the next video.